Robotic Bartenders, a catalyst for spiritual growth and authentic connection. In the wake of Tesla's recent unveiling of Optimus robots serving as bartenders, a wave of concern has swept across social media. Many express worry about job loss and the potential erosion of human interaction in our social spaces. As we navigate this evolving intersection of technology and humanity, perhaps we're being invited to pause and reflect more deeply on our relationships with technology, with each other, and with the very concept of service itself. It's natural to feel a sense of unease when faced with change, especially when it touches on something as culturally ingrained as the role of bartenders in our social fabric. The critics raise valid points. 1. The potential loss of jobs in an already challenging economic landscape. 2. The fear of losing the human touch in our social interactions. 3. The concern that we're becoming too reliant on technology, potentially at the cost of our humanity. These concerns deserve our attention and thoughtful consideration. They reflect our deep-seated need for connection and our fear of losing something fundamentally human in our rush towards technological progress. However, as we reflect on these concerns, it's worth examining the reality of our current bar experiences. How often have we found ourselves in a bustling bar, desperately trying to catch the eye of an overworked bartender? The truth is, most bartenders, despite their best intentions, are too rushed to engage in meaningful conversation. They're often stressed, juggling multiple orders, and sometimes even unintentionally rude due to the pressure they're under. Moreover, the typical bar environment itself poses challenges to genuine connection. The cacophony of loud music forces us to shout our orders, making even basic communication a struggle. We raise our voices to converse with friends, effectively removing any possibility for nuanced, meaningful dialogue. Perhaps most troubling is the uncomfortable power hierarchy that often forms in busy bars. Patrons jockey for position, trying to get served before others by being louder, more noticeable, or waving around more money to get the bartender's attention. This creates a competitive atmosphere that's far from conducive to genuine connection or spiritual reflection. In this light, the human bartender doesn't necessarily facilitate connection. They might actually be an unwitting obstacle to it. It's important to acknowledge that the experiences described here don't represent all bartenders or every bar. Many of us have enjoyed the warm ambiance of a quiet neighborhood pub where skilled bartenders not only serve drinks, but also foster a sense of community. These gems of human connection remind us of the irreplaceable value of personal touch in the service industry. The introduction of robotic bartenders isn't meant to replace these experiences wholesale, but rather to complement them in appropriate settings. There's room for both human and robotic bartenders in our evolving social landscape. The key is to recognize where each can best serve the needs of patrons and contribute to positive social experiences. In this way, we can embrace technological advancements without losing sight of the unique value that human bartenders bring to our social fabric. What if the introduction of robotic bartenders isn't about replacing humans, but about redefining how we interact and find meaning in our shared spaces? By removing the transactional nature of ordering drinks, we might open up new possibilities for genuine human connection. Imagine a bar where the ambient noise is reduced because there's no need to shout orders. Picture an environment where we're free to engage fully with our companions, without the interruption of flagging down a server or fumbling for the right tip amount. In this scenario, the focus shifts from being served to being present, with ourselves and with others. This technological shift doesn't mean the end of human involvement in our social spaces. Instead, it could lead to a beautiful evolution. Imagine human hosts, free from the pressures of mixing drinks and managing orders, whose sole purpose is to converse with patrons and ensure they're having an enjoyable experience. These hosts could facilitate connections, offer a listening ear, and create an atmosphere of warmth and welcome. There's tremendous value in people serving in this manner. It allows for a deeper, more meaningful form of human interaction. As we contemplate this shift, we're invited to examine our spiritual understanding of service and community. Jesus Christ, in his profound wisdom, taught that he came to serve, not to be served. This radical perspective challenges our conventional notions of hierarchy and human worth. In our current bar culture, we've normalized a servant-recipient dynamic that often hinges on guilt and obligation. We feel compelled to compensate for service through gratuity, creating a transactional relationship that may actually distance us from genuine human connection. By removing this dynamic, robotic bartenders might, paradoxically, create more space for us to serve one another in more meaningful ways. We might find ourselves more attuned to the needs of those around us, more present to offer a listening ear or a word of encouragement. As with any technological advancement, robotic bartenders serve as a mirror, reflecting our values, fears, and aspirations back to us. They challenge us to question our attachments and examine our beliefs about human worth and the nature of work. Are we attached to being served by other humans because it fulfills a need for superiority or control? Or is it a genuine desire for human connection that we fear losing? These are uncomfortable questions, but they offer rich ground for personal and spiritual growth. Perhaps this technological shift is calling us to a higher level of interaction. Instead of lamenting the loss of superficial exchanges with bartenders, we could embrace the opportunity to engage more deeply with our fellow patrons. We might find that the person sitting next to us at the bar has insights that could profoundly impact our spiritual journey. In this light, robotic bartenders aren't replacing human connection. They're challenging us to pursue it more intentionally and authentically. As we navigate this changing landscape, let's approach it with mindfulness and openness. Instead of reacting with fear or resistance, we can choose to see this as an opportunity for growth and deeper understanding. How might this change reshape our spiritual understanding of service and community? Could it lead us to more authentic ways of connecting and serving one another? These are the questions worth pondering as we sip our robot-served drinks and engage in the age-old human practice of coming together to share, connect, and grow. In the end, perhaps the most important question is not who serves our drinks, but how we serve each other in the pursuit of meaning, connection, and spiritual growth.
Thanks for joining me on this AI expedition. We're just at the start of the trail, my friends.